Hello YouTube, this is me, Jimmy is back, and I wanted to make a video about something that I've realized over the years, my 21 years of life. I'm not going to tell you that I know everything, because I don't. Every single person alive still has a lot to learn, myself included. I'm learning new things every day, but I just wanted to talk about this because I have a very close friend of mine that can't leave a toxic situation because she loves the person. And this video is for you guys that feel like you're stuck in a situation because you love them so much that you can't let them go. And this is my advice to you from personal experience as well. Well, to give you some background, I was in multiple situations like this. My first relationship, I was with someone who was older than me. Big mistake, considering I was a minor. I didn't know any better. I was too young to know that a minor shouldn't be with an adult. And I thought it was okay, but in reality, I was manipulated by this person. This person would later go on to do unspeakable things to me, betray my trust multiple times, and abuse me. It was a very toxic situation, and I stayed in it for 2 years. Why? Because I was a kid. It was my first relationship. I know what love was. I thought love was just you being loyal, sticking by their side, and it will prevail. That's what I thought love was. That was my idea of love. But in reality, as you grow older, you realize that when someone loves you, they don't treat you that way. They don't hurt you that bad. They can't hurt you continuously and efficiently in that way and love you. They can't. Neither is my second relationship. And this is going to be the flip side. Much like the song Prison Sex, I was an awful boyfriend. I would mentally and physically torment myself. And also, as a result of this mental, physical torment toward myself, I would mentally torment my ex, my second one. I would torment myself because of the trauma that I experienced and I didn't let myself heal. Mistake number 2. If you are in a very toxic situation, do not rebound. That is your heart's way of saying, I want to be fulfilled again. But the problem is, you're only going to hurt your heart even more because you're not ready. So, I was an awful boyfriend. I abused my ex mentally. I was very abusive. And I regret it. I regret it because that's not the person I am today. And I only did it because that's what was normalized to me. It was normalized that abuse was normal. And it's just so tragic. It really is tragic. Because it wasn't right. It wasn't. I'm just glad I learned from it. And I took a lesson out of it. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you like I've never made a mistake in my life. Because I'm full of mistakes. And I'm honest enough to say these mistakes. Because that's not who I am today. If you're doing life right, you will fail many times. But it's about how you get back up. That's what defines whether or not you're doing well in life. What you learn from the situation. Then, after that situation ended, rightfully so, I'm glad she did it. I deserved it. And it's actually going to transition into the final point of this video. I got into another relationship. It was with this girl that I deeply love. I still love her, think she's a great person. And it's that friend that I was telling you about. I'm not going to disclose her name because it's not my place to do so. But I would be overly paranoid. I would be overly worried, over analytic. I would be hyper vigilant for no reason because of the stuff I dealt with from that very first relationship. I didn't give myself proper time to heal. My heart was ready, but my logic and my mind wasn't. So I ended up making her so pissed off and mad and upset all the time because I'd always badger her about where she is and what she's doing and that she left me for good reason. And then I made a mistake. I got with her again. And what ends up happening is when you get with someone that you used to be with in the past, you end up repeating the same behaviors that you repeated on that person before with them again. Just because that is what's normal to you in that specific situation. That was what was normalized in your brain for that specific situation. So you should never do that. And I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way because she broke up with me again. This time it was a lot shorter of a period. And I made her feel like shit again. I made her feel low as a result of me constantly questioning her. Made her feel like she was a whore. Made her feel like she was a slut, etc. And then I was single for a long time. I kept myself single for a year. And it was the best thing I could have done for myself. I had plenty of time to reflect, plenty of time to work on my passions, my music, my art, myself. Best thing I could have done for myself. And then I got with someone else. However, this person, she wasn't a bad person, but she was toxic for me. Just the way she lived was not the way I lived. And so there was a conflict constantly going on within myself. Why am I putting myself in this situation? This individual at times would make me feel like it was all about what I had. Oh, I had this to offer. I had that to offer. Even when I had no money, I still offered comfort. I offered my attention. I offered my effort. Didn't have to be money. I was there, pretty much. And so, if that is the only thing that defines your place in a situation, it's not going to go over well. Because if the only reason why you're in a place like a relationship is because what you offer, then what about in your lowest moments when you don't have the energy to offer those things? You're gonna be out of commission. You're gonna be useless. And so she broke up with me after I started exhibiting the same behaviors because she started becoming more distant with me. And as a result, I started becoming more over anxious, hypervigilant, paranoid because she started becoming more distant with me. Because I was becoming drained all the time. And it was because of the relationship. I was not supposed to be in that relationship. I was not supposed to be with her. It wasn't supposed to happen. And so she broke up with me. And my heart hurt because I loved her. I adored her. At that time period in my life, she had my heart. And it was unfortunate because she shouldn't have. I had to make a hard decision. I had the choice between staying at that apartment, single, while she was there, or leaving. And as difficult as it was, as much as at the time it made my heart hurt, I left. And it absolutely destroyed me. I was not the same for a good period of time. But I realized now, being single for 2 months and away from the situation, once the fire and the smoke all cleared up, I realized something about the heart. The dynamic between the heart and the mind is that of a child and an adult. The heart, like a child, is very passionate, very outgoing, very zealous. It wants to take the world by the horns. It wants it all. The heart is also clueless because the heart is for feeling, but the mind is for thinking. And I made the mistake of not realizing that. And so, for a long time, I stayed in that relationship. I should have broken it off sooner. I stayed hoping things would get better. I hoped to God she would be less distant with me. But no, it didn't end up being that way. And as a result, I ended up self-harming. I ended up hurting myself and attempting my own life. But thankfully now, I realize that even in that moment, what I was doing was I was listening to my heart, the passion side. So the passion side said, oh my God, I love her so much. It's all over. Everything's crumbling in my life. I need to But where was the logistics side of it? Where was my brain? Where was the logical side? Where was the adult in the situation? Nowhere to be found. So, on the day that I did that, I cut myself with a knife. I went vertical on my leg, and I went multiple times in the same spot, so it was really deep. And it took the logical side of my brain stepping in to go, I need to close this up. I need to not do this anymore, ever. I'm sorry. I didn't think I was going to do this, but I can say that I've officially been 2 months and 5 days without self-harm. And that is such a leap for me. And the reason why I was even in that self-harm stage to begin with was because I was listening to my heart and not my mind. I realized that, like a kid and an adult, you have to sometimes listen to the adult. When an adult makes a decision the kid likes, what does the kid do? The kid either gets upset or cries. But the adult makes a decision knowing it's for the betterment of the kid. In this comparison, your mind is making the decision for your heart, knowing what is best for the heart. It will hurt a lot. It will be painful. It will be unbearable. You will feel at some days that you're going to die, how unbearable that pain is. But let me tell you, staying in that situation, you will feel so much more pain and it won't stop. Staying in that relationship that's toxic, it will not stop. It will keep going down that trajectory without any end or cease to an end. So, this is to all you people out there that are in toxic situations and you can't find the strength to get out of it because you love them. Yes, you may love them. But ask yourself, from a logical point of view, let the kids sit down for a minute while the adults have a conversation. Think of it in a logistics point of view. What is this doing for me in a positive way? And what is this doing for me in a negative way? If you want to visualize it, grab a piece of paper right now. Grab a pen and write a table. Pros and cons. Weigh the pros and the cons. And if you're in a toxic situation, you feel pain all the time, 9 times out of 10, you won't think of enough pros to the amount of cons you'll think of. When you're thinking with your mind, let your heart not have any part in that conversation. And when you see more cons stack up on the table than pros, I'm going to say something real controversial here. Real controversial to some people. When you see more cons than pros, leave. Leave, get out of there. And I'll tell you why. Because your heart is like a kid. It's hopeful. It hopes things will get better. It's passionate. It believes in things that aren't possible. Someone is able to change. However, they are not able to change in a situation which facilitates stagnation. And when you don't leave, you are facilitating stagnation. You are facilitating an environment in which they have no consequence, in which they will continue to be enabled in their bad behavior. You need to make the difficult decision with your mind. You need to let the adult take the wheel, and you need to say, I need to leave. You will feel pain. You will feel hurt for a long time. But I can say after 2 months of healing, I feel great. I feel more hopeful about life than I have felt in years even. Even last year. Like, I feel hopeful. I feel more alive than I did in a long time. And that's because I let my mind do the thinking and not my heart. Your heart is important for innovation. I'm not saying the heart is not necessary. The heart is what drives art. The heart is what drives the ideas for innovation. But it's the logic that sits down and does the thinking. So work with your heart. Don't let either one take the wheel exclusively. Work with your heart. Have it be a system where they work together and they check each other like checks and balances in a government. Even though in a government it doesn't really work. But that's neither here nor there, as I was saying. This is to all you people that are stuck in those situations, that don't deserve to be in those situations, that can't get out. I care about you and I adore you. I don't even know you and I adore you because you are strong enough to try to make it work when it's not going to, because the person doesn't have any reason to change. And you can do it. As difficult as it is, you can do it. Coal turns into a diamond when it's under extreme pressure. When you are in that situation, you are under extreme pressure all the time. But that's a different story. Because when you're under that situation, toxicity, the diamond is being held and controlled by someone else. Do you want the diamond exclusively to yourself? Or do you want it for yourself? Do you want yourself to have the control of your life and yourself to have the control over the path your life's going? And do you want a fake diamond or a real diamond? Because when you're under that situation, you can't grow. You can't grow because your will is constantly being pushed down on, beaten down on. You don't even have a will to live most of the time when you're stuck in those situations. And you can get out of that situation. You have to make the hard decision whenever you're ready. And in my opinion, you should try to do it as soon as possible. Because if you don't, it could kill you. It could kill you. And there's so much to live for. Like, there's so many beautiful things in life. There's growth, there's innovation, there's the galaxy above us. There's so many different habitable planets that we could possibly see images of or even possibly go to within the next 100 years. Like, there's so much to live for. There's so much opportunity. You could be whoever you want to be. You just have to be strong enough to let your mind make the decision. Let the adult take the wheel for a little bit. And you will hurt for a long time. Some people heal quicker than others. Some people, it takes days. Some people, it will take months. And some people, it will even take years. But your kid or your heart will look back at what the mind decided and go, wow, I'm so grateful that the adults in the situation made that decision to protect me, the kid, or your heart. So your heart can be your best or worst friend. And ironically enough, it could be your best and worst friend. And 9 times out of 10, your heart is your best and worst friend. Because it inspires innovation, it inspires creativity, it inspires true feeling and love and romanticism. But your heart is ignorant. It doesn't know what the mind knows. Because the heart is made for feeling, the mind is made for thinking. And let it be clear, your mind will keep you alive. Your heart will keep you happy. So that is why you must balance this situation. Don't have the scale go all the way to your mind, because if you're just alive, you're not living, right? If you're just alive, you're not happy, you're not joyous, you don't have that extra pep in your step, you know, the gumption. But if you're just happy, you're not living. you're not alive. You're killing yourself. You are putting yourself in dangerous situations that will lead to your demise. And you don't even realize it. So I just want to say to all you people that are stuck in those toxic situations and you feel like you don't know what to do, my suggestion to you is to make the hard decision and get out. Because you will end up thanking yourself later. Because your life is not worth a chance at love. Because you don't deserve a chance at love. You deserve a certainty at love. And there is a certainty of love out there for you. You just got to find it. Whether it be within yourself, or whether it be in family and friends, or in your art and your passion, or whether it be in someone that you meet eventually when you're ready. Highlight, underscore, bold, italicize, bullet point, number, paraphrase, when you're ready. Wait till you're ready. When you're hurting, you know it's not the right time. When your heart still hurts from it, you know it's not the right time. Wait until you're ready, and God, you won't regret it. You won't. Because when you're ready and when you're the best person you can be, you will be so much better to that person than you were even to the last person you were with. And if you really love that person enough, you will leave them and let them go. Because if they really love you, they will change. They will realize what they did wrong with the logistical side of their mind, and they will change. If you really love them enough, you'll want to see them change, right? And so leave them, because they will have to change. They won't have a choice. They will have to do better and excel, not be stagnant. But when they leave, how you know they don't love you is if they keep exhibiting the same behavior. That's how you know they didn't love you and they're exploiting you or using you for some sort of goal or purpose you're not aware of. The only time you're stuck in something like that, treating someone horribly, is when you don't care about them. If that person really met someone so mind-blowingly life-changing that when they left, they didn't change, they didn't love you. How you know you really love someone is when they leave you, you make a complete 180. You completely change those behaviors because you realize that you were being a shitty person and that those behaviors are not acceptable. Those behaviors were not acceptable to yourself, to the world, and to that person. That was the needle in the haystack that you needed. You were seeping through this pile of information from this entire situation of a relationship. Some people like to take the hay. Oh, well, she did this and she did that. But to get to really the root of it, what did I do? What did my heart do? Because a lot of those, oh my God, what the fuck? A lot of those decisions were impulsive. Anger came from the heart, passion. The brain was nowhere to be found. So just take that needle in the haystack, run with it, and change for the better. Write down all the things you did wrong. Be honest with yourself. Say, yeah, I was a piece of shit. I was an awful person. And have the want, if you really want to get better, have the wants to change. And that isn't forced. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And true love being lost is a great motive to change. And that gave me the want to change. Because I was a bad person at one time too. Where I'm going with all this is please, oh please, don't drink the red paint all the time. Don't drink the yellow paint. Don't be like Van Gogh. Listen to your mind sometimes, because your mind will save you when your heart is being reckless and negligent. Let me ask you a question. If you had to cook a big dinner and your mind was the adult and your heart said, I want to cook dinner, the kid, would you let your 6-year-old child whip up dinner for you on the stove? No, because the next thing you know, your kid accidentally pours oil all over the burner and bam, house fire. Want to know why that happened? because the adult was nowhere to be found. Instead, teach your heart or your kid how to cook by being over his shoulder, watching him, guiding him through the process, or cooking for him and letting him observe. Have the same dynamic with your heart. Have your mind control the heart enough to allow the heart to express itself, but not allow the heart to take control. Your heart could be your best and worst friend, and your heart is your best and worst friend. Your heart is the child of your mind, the adult. So mind your child and watch after your child. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this. I appreciate you guys. I didn't mean to go on this rant. I just really had to get that off my chest because this is exactly how I feel about this personal situation of mine. And if you like the video, subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this in the comments. And if you don't like the video, please give me feedback, because I'm always open to feedback, and I'm always open to learning new things. I'm always open to the experience of life and to learning, because you're not truly growing if you're not learning. So please give me feedback. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys clicking this video, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.